Hey everyone, in today's video we will be creating the description section for the edit property screen. So let's get started. So within the edit property screen, navigate to the format component where we are making these conditions, and let's make a new one, except this time it will be for the description string. And now let's go create a component for the description string so that we can return it here. And right now we'll just return this empty fragment so that it's still going to display. We'll call this component unit description. We'll import view, style sheet, input, text, button, divider, modal header, row, and theme. And let's export our component, returning a view, and within that we'll have a modal header, and below we'll create our styles. Now navigate back to the edit property screen and then import that component, and it'll probably auto import, so I'm just going to replace this here with unit description. Now go down to the touchable opacities at the bottom, and instead of logging this to the console, let's change the alternate screen to the description string. Now to test this out, let's just press on that, and here we can see the unit description. Now let's navigate back to the unit description, and this component will take in these props. In our styles, let's create a new style called default margin top, and underneath our modal header, let's create a new multi-line input. This input is going to have a max character length of 7,000. So we'll create that variable outside of the component. And within the component, we'll create a new function called handle change text, which will take in a string. And if the argument is greater than 7,000 characters, we will just return. Otherwise, we will set the description field to the passed in argument. And at this point, let's go and pass in these props into our component. So here we will just add in those props. And let's go back to the unit description. We'll add in that onPress logic to our modal header. And underneath our input, we will signify to the user how many characters they have left. So when they type into it, they will see how many they have left. And here, if we change this to 50 or 10 rather, we can see that it's going to quit updating. So let's change it to 20 just to give it a more realistic example. And now we can just change this back to 7,000. So underneath this text component, we'll create a divider. So first we're going to create the styles for that, which is just going to give it a background color of the color-gray from our theme. Then we'll place that divider underneath the text, giving it the styles of divider and default margin top. Next, we'll create a row. Within that row, we'll have two buttons, one for clearing and one for saving. Now to add some styles to our row, let's create a new one where we'll justify content to space between. And now let's give this a default margin top and that row style. Next, we'll create a style for our buttons, and this clear button will have an appearance of ghost, so let's give it a style where we set the border color to our primary 500. Now let's add some props to the clear button, and let's create a function to set the description to an empty string. And for our save button, we will add in the style of button, and whenever it's pressed, we will just call the cancel function. Now let's wrap this input and the components beneath in a view and move those components into the view. And for this view, let's create a style and let's assign that to the view. And now we can test this out. And one thing I should note is that here for the save button, you could alternatively just save this data to your database whenever that's pressed, but this is just simpler for now. So here we can test it out. We can hit save, add a new unit, go to that one, and it should be showing nothing, which it is. And if we go back and we go to our first one, there is the description that we just had. And we can clear it and we can start over. So that is how you guys can create the unit description. I hope that you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.